lately we've been doing a lot of stuff with puppies, and we actually have 6 other dogs, including a couple of seniors. So today, through the magic of editing, we have been teleported to the sheep farm where Mac, our 9-year-old Border Collie, and I are going to herd some sheep, and then after we'll talk a little bit about some activities that you can do with your senior dogs.
Go for a swim. Go for a swim, bud. Good man. Gotta take care of old guy. Good boy, bud. I have to say that one of the coolest things about coming to watch herding is that I get to be a spectator or a significant other, because most of the time whenever I do anything to do with dogs, I'm always the one who's like out there doing it. So it's fun to like learn about something that I don't know really anything about, and to be able to sit and relax and enjoy the experience through a different side of things. And I have a really soft spot for Border Collies, and to be able to watch them in their own craft and to learn about this whole other side of dog sports is it's pretty cool. I just love coming.
So another really simple, low-impact activity you can do with your senior dog is play a game of something like hide and seek. Now, I'm going to use Grand Slam, and he is certainly not an older dog, but I'm going to get a toy that he really loves, and I'm going to hide it somewhere in our living room. I'll make it a little bit more messy than it is, but I'm going to hide it somewhere in our living room, and then I'm going to ask him to go find it. And we'll see how long it takes Slam to do it, but the really great part here is that I'm going to be with him. I'm going to be encouraging him along the entire way, and then once he finds it, he gets the reward of having the bone, as well as the little bit of engagement with me when I play with him. Now the key here is the first time that I take Slam out to go find his toy, I've got to make it really easy to find, and I've got to make it very obvious what we're trying to find here. So first things first, I'm going to take this bone and I'm going to put it in between these 2 dog beds. And I mean, it's really obvious where it is. Slam even saw me put it in there, but I'm not really concerned about that. What I really want to do is show him the process. Teach him that when we go looking around and I ask you to find your bone, once you've found it, I'm going to make a big deal about it, and this is what we're looking for. So let's give that a try the very first time. We're going to just walk in the room, I'll ask Slam to find his bone, and when he does, we're going to make a big deal of it. Okay, so we're going to make this fun for Slam, but we're going to make it really simple. So he saw me even put the bone under there. The bone is very obviously sticking out from underneath the bed, and I'm just going to convince him. We're going to walk toward it, and I'm going to ask him to find his bone. When he does, I'm going to make a big deal of it. Okay, buddy, ready? Here, find your bone. Find your bone. Where's your bone? Good boy! Good job, buddy. Find your bone. Good. And he obviously loves this. Good boy, way to find your bone. And he figured that out pretty quickly. Now, we did make it really easy, but we're going to make it a little bit harder this time, but we're going to have the same party once he finds his bone. Now, I know you might be thinking, what if my dog doesn't love toys? Or what if your dog isn't as excited about toys as they are food? Now, remember, this isn't about the article that they're finding, or this is all about the process. So, for you guys that have dogs that love food and aren't really big fans of toys, you can do the exact same thing with a piece of food. Now, I've got a really stinky liver treat, and I'm going to use this liver treat, and I'm going to put it inside of our little doggy toy basket, and I'm going to get Slam. We're going to walk Slam out of the room. I'm just going to plunk this basket down, and then we're going to search for the liver treat, and I'll show you that it's exactly the same process as it would be for a toy. Find a treat. Where is it? There's a treat. There's a treat. Oh. Yay! Good boy! Alright, and he got it. So that was a little bit easier than finding a toy. You can see we used a really stinky treat, which makes it a little bit easier for Slam because he can use his nose to search around and find that treat. But you know, this game is just as much fun for the dog, whether it's a toy or a treat. And some dogs maybe treats more than toys, but it's lots of fun.
So another fun game that we like to play is hide and seek. So we hide on the dogs and then call them, and then they have to try and figure out where we are. So I found a pretty good hiding spot. We have this cute little nook in our kitchen where we put a dog bed so the dogs can hang out while we're in here. Ken has Slam somewhere else in the house, so I'm gonna come in here and see what happens. We'll see if I can fit. Slammy! Slammy! You came in the first time, you can smell me.
Brain games are always something that you can do with any age of dog, but it's especially helpful when you can do it with something like a brain game with your senior dog because it's low impact. You know, you can really moderate the amount of activity that they're doing, and I mean, just nearly every dog will work for some food. So I'm going to show you. We're not just talking about store-bought ones, although I do like this Kong wobbler. Now, the nice part about this is that you can put the treats inside the bottom of this Kong, and then screw there's a weighted bottom on it, and you can screw the top back on the weighted bottom, and then give it to your dog and allow them to figure out, figure out how to get those treats out of there. But these sorts of activities are so helpful for problem solving. It really requires focus from your dog. But the store-bought brain games aren't the only option. We've actually got a couple of suggestions for things that you can do with your dog that doesn't require you to have any sort of extra toys, just the things that you already use with your dog. So certainly one of the go-to exercises or activities you can do with your senior dogs is something like taking them for a walk. Like a dog of any age can go for a walk, but you need to sort of keep in mind one consideration, and that's the level of activity or the amount of walking. For example, we just had Mac at herding for, he was herding sheep for almost an hour today.
A lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. So we didn't bring him on the walk today, and I know he's 9 years old, but we just don't want to, run him into the ground, so to speak. We know being a little bit older that we need to moderate his activity. And we thought that maybe just having the younger dogs out on a walk today would be enough for Mac.
And I think it depends on the dog as well. Mac's the kind of dog that will continue to run and run and run and won't pace himself. So if you have a dog like that, it's important that you take that responsibility. Some dogs might not exude as much energy or be as prone to be running, but it's something that you need to be responsible for yourself because a lot of dogs won't do it themselves.
And you'll see Kale will actually reward the dogs. Even though they're our older dogs, she takes an opportunity to train through some of this while we're out. Yeah, we've got some, she's got some kibble. It's not very
exciting. I just brought kibble, but...
Yeah, but it works, and it's a great opportunity to just work through some of the training. There's no distractions. The dogs are out having lots of fun, but Kale's rehearsing the dogs coming in. Okay. And they're being rewarded for something like a response to name. So it just sort of reinforces the idea that the dogs come in when they hear their name.
One of the things that's good about having multiple dogs is teaching them to have individual recall. So if you don't want the whole pack, you can just have one. So we use our dog's name for that manner. So if we call their name, usually the other ones know we don't need them. We just need them. Need the one, to say. Hip! Good girl! Good girl, chicken bacon. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. And it really is nice when they know to come the first time you call them. I don't have to yell and shout. I can just call them and they'll run over, which is why it's always a good idea to continue randomly reinforcing them. I don't bring food every single time. A lot of my dogs enjoy to play tug as well, so sometimes we'll bring a toy, or sometimes we'll just call them over and pet them and give them some affection or some love. So, always training, making it fun.
And last but certainly not least is trick training. So you can do trick training with any age of dog, any level of motivation. It's all about finding that really exciting, valuable treat to reward them and to shape whatever the behavior is. So we have a long list of videos that we published on trick training, and I'll post a link to a playlist in the description below to give you some ideas and give you some suggestions as to things that you might want to train with your dog. You can see Slam is really enjoying his time.
He's still so happy that he found me.
I know. Yeah, he was pretty excited about that. But on that note, I want to wish you guys happy training from Ken and Kale. Don't forget to do something awesome with your dog today.